So, hello Internet, and welcome to another episode of the Twinstiq Game Club. With me,
Hello.
I have Grey Wolf, who you just heard. Say hello, Grey Wolf.
Hello, Grey Wolf.
Ha ha
Good.
ha ha. Somebody who's
Yeah,
not
I'm
as much of
sorry.
a smartass as that old guy. Screw loose. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys?
No, you should
Hello.
have said hello, Screwloose, as well.
Hello,
That'll make me
Scrooge,
feel.
as
Yeah,
well.
there we go. That makes me
Oh.
feel better.
Then say hello to Yoda or Cody. That's me, and we're all
Hello,
here
Cody.
today to talk about a video game that we all played. Yeah.
Yeah.
We played Invisible Inc., which is a turn-based stealth game by Klei Entertainment. Same guys who did Mark of the Ninja, which most of us recommended. So these guys know their stealth, but they had not previously made a turn-based tactics game before Invisible Inc. So we're going to go into a brief history of the game, and then we'll give each other our first impressions. Invisible Inc. was originally launched in an alpha under the name Incognita in September of 2013, but it was originally opted not to be a part of Steam's early access, which had only been launched 6 months prior to Klei actually putting out the alpha for Incognita.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, they opted not to do
And
that
they
originally.
obviously kept the name Incognita for the AI.
Yeah.
Yep. Instead, Klei offered people access to their game on their own website for $16 and included 2 copies of the game. And that's actually
cool.
how I had purchased the game way back when, because I loved Mark the Ninja, and when they said turn-based tactics XCOM stealth game, I went, well, that's got to be horrible or
Okay.
amazing. 16
Yeah.
bucks and I get 2 copies? Yeah, let's try
Yeah,
that out.
yeah, that's epic because that's like co-op, right? Can you do that actually in this game? Can you play co-op?
I don't think so, no.
I don't believe so.
Then
no.
why the hell would they include 2 copies then? would you get some
Spread the
copies?
word about their game. If
Okay.
you're not
You
gonna,
can just get
if
one
you're
to
not
a friend.
promoting it on Steam, no one's gonna hear about it. So,
Yeah, well, that's true.
But a year later, after they had launched it on their own website, along with a name change to Invisible Inc., the game did show up on Steam's early access for $25 for a copy of the game, obviously.
One
but
copy.
They had stated that the final product would only be $20, so you're paying an extra $5 to be a beta tester for the game.
Yeah.
Um,
Welcome to the
That's-
modern games industry.
That's crappy, but
Well, I've said this a few times that if a game's going to go on early access, it should be more expensive than the game is going to be when it comes out. Because if you actually want people to play test your game for you, you don't want people to just download your game for free and be like, your game needs more dicks and tits.
right.
Which is why if
Yeah,
you're not
but-
going to actually go out of
okay.
your way to find people and hire employees for QA testing, which is expensive, and I get that, but Klei's not exactly a small studio at this point in time, so it's
yeah,
kind of
so I feel that's kind of terrible. You're basically getting people to pay you to do the QA. I hate that. But anyway, that's not what we're here for.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's just how early access works, and we're not talking about that. None of us really like that anyway. So, but the game came out in May of 2015. And like every other early access game, launch sales didn't even come close to the number of people who played it while it was unfinished, so it had a soft launch like every early access game. And the game would later come out on Linux, Mac, PS4, and iOS. I don't think it's on Android yet. I can't really... I guess you could play it on your phone, okay. The game was incredibly well received for such a niche product, with an average 88 on Metacritic, extremely overwhelming positive reviews, both recent and overall on Steam, and its lowest score that I could find on the internet was a 3 out of 5 from some place called Dark Station.
Okay.
This, I guess, would technically be my personal first encounter with the early access model of paying for games. I probably played it for like 2 hours total when it was called Incognita and decided to just leave it alone till it's done, and I'm really glad I did.
Yeah.
Anyone else have exposure to the game before we tried it out for Game Club?
Nope. I'm not a soft
I-
guy, so no.
I bought this. I'm trying to remember if I think I bought it around Christmas time.
Mhm.
No, I bought it around Thanksgiving. It was on sale for like the fall sale on GOG.
Oh.
And I bought it then, and I played a little bit of it, and I didn't like it.
Mm.
immediately. I didn't like it. I was like, oh man, I'm like almost sad that I bought it.
What about it? Did you not enjoy just everything?
Everything was too similar. It was like playing the same map over and over and over again.
Yeah,
and
yeah, I could definitely see that.
It still has that to me, but I will say though that
I think that's just kind of an inherent problem with procedurally generated maps.
Right, right.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later, I guess.
Oh hush! Hey, knock it off.
Puppy.
She must have saw something out the back window.
So first impressions of the game, because I don't think it's much different now as it was then. It certainly didn't rock you jimmies then.
No, I mean, you know what? It has a really good feel. I do like it. Mm-hmm. But I don't really feel the need to go back to it. I'm not like, oh, I got to play another mission. It's like, okay, I'm done with that same thing that I just did. You know, I mean, it does have a great feel to it, though. They're really polished. And oh man, sorry, these dogs.
Psh, they're puppies. They're great. Nothing wrong with them.
But yeah, I do like it. It's got a cool feel. The voice acting is really neat. I like the setup. Mm-hmm. For every mission, they've got these really cool little cinematics that are really nice, and the animation is good. You know, I appreciate it. It's
Klei. They have amazing animators over there. They're masters of the 2D style.
You know, I really like the hacking, and you know, I like basically every aspect except for the visual presentation of just like the same map every time. It would be nice to have a little bit of variation in there. And yeah. I don't really want to say it was boring or anything like that. I still recommend the game. It's really good. It is not XCOM.
No.
Anybody that is looking at this thinking, oh, it's an XCOM-like game.
And that's
similar.
definitely kind of their own fault. That was sort of their initial marketing thing for the game, was they were like, we're kind of like XCOM, but stealth-based.
Right.
And I was like, you should probably just say you're a turn-based stealth game, because that sounds crazy, and that's never been done before. When you start calling yourself XCOM, people are going to want to have a
they're going to make that
combat-focused game, and that's not what this is.
Yeah, no. But you know, like I said, I don't mean to talk down on it, because I do enjoy it. It's fun, but I don't feel like it's engaging enough for me to want to just go back and play mission after mission after mission.
Yeah, I think we'll be able to nail on the head why that is when we talk about the level design. Gray, you've been kind of quiet. What were your first impressions of the game?
Okay, so I sort of beg to differ about the XCOM thing, because I think that there is a lot of XCOM in this. But the way I see the XCOM in it is the refinement of the user interface from the XCOM interface. Now, when I talk about XCOM, I'm talking about 1993 XCOM on Microprose. I'm not talking about the new version, which does a lot of it does some similar things to the interface that this does. Basically, if you never played 1993 XCOM, all you need to understand is there are too many icons and you don't know what they do. Okay? And what this does is it takes all that ambiguity away. You can only, if you walk up to a safe, there is only one thing you can do with it.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true. There's not an option to open the safe, or blow up the safe, or take the items from the safe, or stash an item in the safe, or hide a body in the safe.
Right. The one thing that I like when I was playing this, that my most strong association with XCOM came from the early parts of an XCOM mission, where you are trying to figure out where the aliens are, and a lot of that is hide and seek until you figure out where they are, and then it turns into a combat heavy game. But until you find the aliens, you're sort of sneaking around and trying to stay as a unit and trying to figure out the layout of the ship and figure out where the aliens are and what they're up to and where they're hiding.
Yeah.
And a lot of invisible ink when you're playing the actual maps. All of that hiding and sneaking around is in this game.
Definitely.
And this is the main part of this game. Whereas in XCOM, invariably it turns into combat. This you really don't want to get into combat if you can help it, because your guys are basically meat sacks and they will drop at the drop of a hat.
Yeah, there's no.
Yeah.
They don't even have health bars in this game. It's just
No,
if you
they're
get
just like,
shot,
if
that's
you
it.
get spotted,
Yep.
you are dead.
Yeah.
Um,
And I like stealth
there's-
games like that, so I wasn't too annoyed with that. But I can see how a lot of mainstream people who play a lot of conventional stealth action games, which are the popular norm now when it comes to stealth, would be like, oh my god, I can't fight back. That's stupid.
There is like a grace turn where you get spotted, and then you can do something. But normally, the odds are so overwhelmingly stacked against you that you're screwed anyway. So
Yeah.
And sometimes you
At
can
that
get
point.
screwed in the first room that you
Yes.
spawn in because of its procedurally generated nature. Sometimes you'll set up in the room and peek around, and then suddenly 2 guards walk into your first room,
And then
you
you're
go,
dead.
all right, let's restart the campaign, earn my
Pretty
50
much.
experience, and move on.
right.
Um,
So
yeah, I agree. It is very polished, and I really enjoy that. And the movement is really nice.
right.
Hiding behind walls. I do have a little bit of an issue with like the vision cones on guards.
Sure.
Like the fact that you can stand right next to a guy
Yeah.
and he
Yes.
won't know you're there.
It's
You could, like,
definitely
be talking to
definitely suspension of disbelief inducing, but at the same time, the game is difficult enough with how small their vision cones are that if
Sure.
they were a bit more realistic, like if there was a peripheral vision behind them where they
Peripheral
like
vision,
do
yeah.
the notice thing
Yeah.
next to them, oh my god. I think there
Yeah.
may be options for that in the
I didn't see
campaign
any when I
menu.
was looking on.
Yeah,
there might be mods for
There
it.
are a lot of options though.
Yes.
There were.
Which
Lot
is,
of options, and that's
I'm
wonderful.
curious to know. You don't have to say how easy you made the game for yourself, Grave.
Oh
but
god, I turned on all the training wheels I could. All of them. I have 99 rewinds. I have
Oh my god! Wow.
no escalation. No escalation.
No escalation. So the only time the alarm would go up for you is if you got spotted by a camera or something. Then.
If I did something really retarded, like I ran up to a guy, waved my fingers in front of him, and then shot him, then it would escalate. Hello
You
there, how are you
seriously?
doing? I'm gonna shoot
Yeah.
you in the face.
No,
And this-
I think it's great that they actually added that in there because I don't mind having a timer on games, but it still stresses me out, and for a lot of people, I could see that that would be just a complete turn off for them entirely.
It was,
if
and
like,
in
oh my
fact,
God,
when I
no.
got into Slack after having read a bit about it, I was like, nah, I don't think I'm gonna like or want to play this.
Yeah.
And then I went in and I was like, oh my god, all the options! Wow, I can turn all these things
loads
off.
of options.
Yeah, they
You
they
can
work
basically
their ass
you can
off to
change
make-
it to however you feel like playing it. You
Yeah,
can play it that way.
you can
Well,
create a completely different type of
kind
game almost. Yeah.
Kind of, because there is a problem with, so you can turn a lot of the stuff off, right? But this doesn't take away the stress of actually going through those levels because
Oh, sure.
the way
you wouldn't have a game otherwise.
no, I suppose not. But the thing is that invisible ink is really, really sensitive. If, for example, you forget to turn off a droid and the droid does a listening thing, right? And it hears you, then everything starts going, oh god, we need to find you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the problem
Or
with that is,
you don't close the door and somebody walks by and sees you.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah. There's a
Yeah.
lot of opening and closing doors in this game.
oh god, yes. So the problem I have is one of the things I really liked about XCOM was that, okay, so once the aliens found you, it turned into combat, but pre and post combat, you could do all the exploring you liked. You could go and, mess around on the ship and see what was going on and find parts to salvage and all that.
Yeah, that's
In this game,
not the case. It's
you
rare
are
you
almost-
actually explore every room on a map.
right, you are
Yeah.
kind of discouraged from doing that because the minute you get spotted, it's almost instantly game over.
Yeah. That's why you try. It's not. There's not really. That's why it's different from XCOM in that sense. That there's not a
Yes.
sneak around stage and then a combat stage. It's all sneak around. If you get
Yes.
caught, you got to use one of those rewinds more than likely, and try something else. And unlike XCOM as well, it's beneficial at times to actually split the group so you can spread out around the map, find your objectives, and find that exit
Right.
path. Because if
Yeah.
you don't know where that is and you're stumbling around in the dark while all the guards are running around trying to find out why the fuck half of them are knocked out, you're gonna have a hard time.
Then you're in trouble. Yep.
And I don't
that actually is something else I wanted to bring up too. Is that the procedural generation can at times, and now for the most part it works very well in this game, procedural generation, but it can at times really flip you off because your exit might be right next to the reinforcements.
Yeah. And the reinforcements
opens,
randomly spawn in places too, which is also annoying.
Yeah. So you know that
like
that can
one of the things that I sort of wish this game did do a bit more discreetly is that it would, like you said, it spawns reinforcements just randomly on the map. The way you spawn is you spawn through teleportation, and someone, you know, has to find a spot for you to spawn in on. Now, what I kind of wish is that there were entrance teleporters and exit teleporters, so that when things spawned in, they spawned in at a fixed spot, and you knew where that was,
knew where they were,
and you would have avoided it, right?
Even if you could find those rooms and you found a entrance teleporter and you go, oh shit, I need to, get away from this room, you'd at least know where they'll come in.
This is where I know they're coming from now.
And one thing that did sort of frustrate me about that is because, like I said, they've streamlined a lot of the things that you can and can't do. There was a mission where I went in and I was going to go and, you know, get a guy from my team, and they were in these enclosures, and I was like, oh great, I'm going to open the enclosure, get the guy I want, and you can pick up and pull guards around, which is great. So I thought, fine, what I'll do is I'll just put everyone back in the enclosures and close them, and that way they're trapped forever. But you can't do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish. A lot of the times I'll up someone's strength quite a bit so that they can carry cards around a little bit easier. Because as long as you've pinned them down, then they don't wake up. And so you think, okay, I found the stuff, I found the exit, I could probably get there within 3 turns. Now let's get up from the guard and move around a bit faster.
Right.
Which is why if you play this game, always do the missions where you find more agents first. More bodies on the level is a necessary thing to have.
Yeah, especially because getting money is not that easy.
No. Which is why there are missions just
and things
about
cost
robbing banks.
a lot of credits. Buying stuff costs a lot of money, and I mean it should, because this is a sort of roguelike type of a game. You will not win on your first playthrough.
Probably not the second either.
But you do keep your upgrades. So when you start over,
I never, because I had all the training wheels on, I never actually died. I didn't make it to an end point, but I didn't die. So someone needs to tell me what happens when you die.
So
I actually haven't died either.
When you die, I like to put on the option that you can retry the level. When you die, with that on, I have the option to either retry the level from scratch, it's completely procedurally regenerated in a different way, but the objective is the same, and you think, okay, I'm gonna give this another shot. And then if I fail again, I go, okay, I'm probably just not at the level yet. And the other option you have is to end your campaign, and that means you shut down the agency. All of your agents are either dead or you just spread everything out. Incognita says, okay, restarting simulation, and you completely start over from scratch at the very beginning of a new campaign. But you do gain experience for your account level, and your net worth stays the same and probably goes up from the more things you've collected and stuff. So credits is added to your net worth. Any agents that you've unlocked, you can have the option of starting with. Like, you only start with Decker and what's her face?
International.
But if you unlock more agents, then you can choose to start with them. You can choose to start with better gear and stuff like that, and you start with more credit, and you have more credits, and then you move along until you fail, and then you use all that again, and move along until you fail, and do all that again. It's kind of weird, but there is actually a story reason for it.
Yeah, it sounds like the way FTL works.
Yeah.
Yes. It's very similar to that, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, you get basically different ships and new people to move along with. Yep.
Right. Very good. So, because I never made it to an end state, I assume that you want to talk about the story, because you're gonna want to spoil that.
We could talk about the story as long as we're done with talking about the mechanics and stuff. Again, I think the procedural generation better than a lot of procedurally generated games that I've played.
Yes.
That has a lot to do with that each individual room that you are in is not procedurally generated, and you do see a lot of repeated rooms, but the rooms,
right,
whether they're next to each other or adjacent to other rooms, is what is procedurally generated.
Right.
Which can, of course, create problems, but because the rooms are well-designed, small little levels, it kind of forgoes it a little bit, but I don't know. You guys have anything else you wanted to talk about before we moved on to the story?
I love the music.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the music is pretty good.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
awesome.
the music is pretty good.
Yeah, all the art assets are.
There's a very smart thing that happens, because the way this game works, it kind of works on two levels. The one level is the meat space level where you're running around and you're collecting stuff, and then the other level is the cyberspace level where you hack safes and you hack safes and you turn off and on laser beams, that kind of thing. And what happens when you go into that layer is that the music actually changes and then becomes different. And that's a really neat touch. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and it's very satisfying to do those things in Incognita, like to turn off laser grids so that guards can't come chase you while you're trying to run away and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one other thing that is sort of fun about that is also that you can find things through Incognito. Like one of the levels that auto-generated for me was it generated with a bunch of demons, and I found a database that had like demon names and what they did, and that was great because it told me, don't trip this or else this will occur.
Yeah, and you go, and this increases my alarm by 1. I can trip that. That's not that big a deal. Yeah.
And it's great because you can't do the one half without the other. It's well designed from that perspective. In fact, I want to say that a lot of this is very well designed.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And is very well put together. The visual style is great. The music is great. Like Scooter said, the little story that goes along with it and the way they narrate it is also great. It's just it's all well presented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's got a good like espionage feeling, which I mean it should. It's exactly what you're supposed to be doing,
that's
right?
what you play. You play as
I really like that.
As one of the many mega corporations who've overthrown the world, and you play as Invisible Inc., which is just a basically mercenary corporation designed to go screw over other corporations until you got caught, which is the start of the story.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
It is.
But yeah. I think the game is unique enough to recommend just mechanically. The story isn't all that much to it, but I think the taking the idea of the prep setup in XCOM and making a whole game out of it is not an easy thing to do, and I think they did a pretty good job at that.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think they did, and there are some very obvious similarities as well, like your world map and flying back and forth between countries taking so much time to do so.
Yeah.
and
it's really well done.
And like FTL or the first Dead Rising, it's not like XCOM where you might have a losing game after 30 hours of playing and go, oh yeah, okay, I fucked up apparently a while back, and now my 30-40 hour game I'll have to just shut down and start a new one completely from scratch.
Right.
This one's designed to play through more than once.
The other thing that we haven't talked about is the way that it sort of the way it looks is a little Tron-esque, and the other thing that I like about it, and lots of people don't actually notice, is how much this game actually pulled from Syndicate, because
I've never played Syndicate. I always wanted to.
I haven't either.
Oh, okay. So there's a lot of little similarities. Like, for example, you have agents, and agents can have augmentations, and the augmentations help them do their job. It's Syndicate's a little more visceral because it's a strategy game, but it's all real time.
No.
So, you select your units and you go off and you beat people up. Whereas this is not like that because it's turn-based, but it shares kind of an ethos with that, and a kind of a, because the thing about Syndicate is that it looks and plays very. No, sorry, it looks like in 1993 when it came out, it looked very futuristic, and this does that very well too, from that perspective. So a lot of people don't actually pick this up, but I think that there's also a little bit of Syndicate in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't pick that up, but it's cool that they definitely seem to have drawn back from early tactics games then.
Yep.
It definitely clear. Even FF Tactics that seems to have a good amount in here too. I think for their very first turn-based strategy game, this is pretty high marks. Even with all of its problems.
Oh no, I agree. Yeah. I recommend it for sure, especially because it's not expensive, and it's worth it.
Yeah, yeah. $20 if you love roguelikes, you're going to enjoy this a heck of a lot more. I think that's maybe why, like Jason, I enjoy this game, but it's never that one more turn kind of game like XCOM is for me. While I'm in the while I sit once I sit down to play it, I'm in it for a while. But if I'm not playing the game, I'm not thinking about it. Off in my own time, I'm never like, oh man, what should I do next? Because I know that this campaign is going to fail until I
don't snap awake in the middle of the night going, I know how to do it.
Yeah.
Which I have done with XCOM, Satellite Rain.
Oh yeah.
And XCOM.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely need to check that one out. Jason, did you actually end up getting through the whole story?
No. You know what? I played about 5 missions.
Oh, okay.
Before I got distracted by other things,
Well,
I have
5 missions. I forgot how long it can take to just do a mission. Sometimes a mission will be 15 minutes. Sometimes they last for an hour.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My average mission time was about an hour. But I'm one of those guys who, like, if I fail, it's the end of the world, and oh god, over there.
Yeah.
Or if I don't get through the whole level and find everything, then I feel a bit dirty.
Yeah, so I like to play this game a step above normal, and so they have you. They force you to move through the level.
Yep.
That was I do that too. I played it on. I left the timers on because I wanted to see how the mechanic worked. And it's actually, that's another similarity to XCOM that we should bring up too. Is XCOM has those timed missions. Normally they're like defuse a bomb within this many turns.
Yeah.
But
right.
They're not just an increasing difficulty timer. Yeah, it's a fail state, XCOM, which is a little bit unfortunate. Yeah, it does max out in Incognita. I think at 4, it totally maxes out, and then at that point they just every turn they just throw in fucking robots and hard shit for you to move around.
To deal with.
It's horrifying.
Right.
But you can get out if you get lucky enough. The story, it's not the most original thing in the world. You could probably guess what's happening by the time you figure out, okay, so I restart the story every time I fail.
Right.
So at the start of the game there, Incognita or Invisible Ink is compromised. All the headquarters and all the agents are completely gone, with only those 2 agents and the head lady, I can't remember her name, and then obviously the AI Incognita escape. And Incognita can only be hosted in extremely powerful computers, and she can't survive outside of them for more than 3 days, which is why the initial time is 72 hours. I'm sure Gray increased that quite a bit.
I did. The first thing it said was, you can play this endless, but you might never see the end mission. I was like, what's the next longest? And it was 120 days, and I was sad.
Yep.
I mean, 120 hours, and I was sad. Because that's not enough time. But anyway, carry on.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, it's just that countdown is to the final mission. Once that countdown's over, only the final mission is available, and so all the other missions are just you preparing for that mission, getting gear, getting agents, and that mission is you try to infiltrate the enemy's headquarters, access their computer system, and insert Incognita so that she can be hosted there, so that Invisible Ink doesn't shut down. But here's a twist. Once you do that, turns out she has been planning to exterminate all of the mega corporations and ends with her using satellites to destroy their headquarters, killing thousands upon thousands of people in all of the mega corporations' building, but freeing the world from control of all the mega corporations, kind of like the end of Fight Club. Incognita defies her removal from the new host computer, and yeah. And
That's
so
interesting.
It's revealed that Incognita has actually been using simulations of all of these different missions that you've been playing through in all these campaigns to go, okay, if we tried doing that, that wouldn't work. If we tried doing that, that wouldn't work.
Right.
So we need. I need to suggest to all these agents that we do these things in this order to go, so that I can come to the headquarters and then kill all the mega corporations.
Right. Oh, that's pretty cool.
So that's why when you fail a campaign,
your playthrough is actually like
is her running through all the simulations.
It's her running simulations.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty neat, actually. I like that. Yeah.
So yeah, that's interesting, but I mean, the main story itself obviously is pretty standard one. Corporations control the world. Corporations all die at the end.
Yeah. When I was playing it, one of the first people that you meet apart from the invisible ink folk is you meet a guy who's a salesman. And what is his name?
Monster.
Yeah, Monster. And my take on him was that somewhere along the line he was going to betray you.
You thought the black guy was going to betray you. I see. You're a little south of him.
Yeah, so
his name is also Monster, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
So
yeah. His name might as well have been Red Herring.
It suggests that he's going to. So yeah.
So the actual story is, I think, a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. To be fair.
Yeah.
Because like it was very convenient. He showed up and it was like, "Oh, I'm going to sell you things." I was like, That seems
if they named him not a monster, I would suspect him more than if they actually named him Monster. Because you call someone, "This is the bad guy," I go, "No, it's not. You're trying to trick me." I thought the boss lady was going to turn Incognita evil, but Incognita was just like
is
no.
evil anyway.
Well, not really, because all the mega
not
corporations
really evil,
are evil.
just pure logic. Yeah.
I think this game's only set in like 2074, but then again, I mean, Walmart's and Monsanto are probably pretty close to becoming the main rulers of the world anyway.
Well, and I mean, if you look at alt history or alt future universes like Deus Ex, the newest Deus Ex, which I've been playing, Mankind Divided, is only set in 2028.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I wonder if now we'll start seeing
it's
some
still believable
2020 games.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the story for anyone who cared enough to go through it all. It's not easy to get there.
No, it's definitely not easy.
Yeah. The final mission is also procedurally generated, unfortunately, and you can definitely lose just doing that. But the only time I ever beat the game was the one time I ever got to the final mission. I'm so glad I had level retries on, because I was just like, nope, trying it again, and I just kept doing it and doing it and doing it until I finally beat it. I think it took me like 15 tries. It was very annoying, but I was not about to start all the way over after I finally got to the final mission.
That's similar to my playthrough of XCOM, because I hated when soldiers died in XCOM.
Oh yeah.
If a soldier died in XCOM, I reloaded because I knew I could do better.
Yeah, no.
At any point.
and the thing about that in 1993 was that there was no other way to play XCOM. It was just, if your guy died, he died. Yeah. That was it. The end.
Yeah. Well, on some difficulties, that's kind of how it is in the new XCOM. It's kind of like, I mean, I lost a guy, but I got a lot of other good shit, so I need to move on. It's hard, but it's why you bring cannon fodder soldiers along with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep. So yeah, final thoughts on Invisible Ink, guys?
I liked it. I wouldn't necessarily carry on playing it past GameClub. because it's just that's not my thing. I liked XCOM, but it was a game again that I never ever finished because the thing about these sorts of games is that the way XCOM was set up, it was set up to ramp really quickly, and things could get out of control very fast in that game. Yeah. And the thing about Invisible Ink is that it's set up the same way.
Yeah.
There's no way for you to do a first run and actually see the end of the story. You would have to fail and keep on failing until you've gotten enough stuff that you can run the last run and then make it work. I'm not terribly enthralled with that style of game. So while I like the aesthetic and I like the story and I like the overall feel of it, and I like how much it borrows from XCOM and feels like XCOM in the stealth department, it's not necessarily my kind of thing. But now, to put it down and say, don't ever play this because of that feels not right. It's a very good game. The niche that it is in is very, very small, and this is probably one of the best examples of this kind of game that we're likely to see for a long, long time. So if you're interested in the stealth part of XCOM, play this. You will love it to bits.
Yeah. I'm just going to agree with everything Gray just said, except that I am into these kinds of games, and I like that feel.
Yeah.
And I like the roguelike and trying again because it adds replayability. And maybe some people would say that's a cheap way to add replayability, but this is designed around that. I would say that,
and I'm probably the biggest fan of the game here.
Yeah. I agree. I actually agree with that mentality. But with this game being built around that, and especially now knowing how the story plays out. Yeah, right. It's in the narrative. So, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, and it's really cool. I would also recommend it. I think it's really cool. As I said, it's not as engaging as I thought it was going to be, right? It's really fun to play a mission, but then after that, I'm done with it. Maybe for the whole day, maybe for the week. I don't know. It's just like...
and I think, for me, it's because of the overall structure of the game that it's like that. It's not for any mechanical reason that I don't want to keep playing this game. The only reason I beat it was because I love the concept of a turn-based stealth game. Because I'm a very big stealth proponent, and there aren't many strategy games that solely focus on the stealth aspect of their strategy portion.
Yeah,
and that's all this is, and all stealth games usually are strategy games too. But this just takes it to another level, makes it isometric, and calls it turn-based.
Right.
And I love doing those base core mechanics more than I like the fact that I'm not going to be able to beat the game, and I'm going to have to fail and restart over.
Right. Well, it allows you to think tactically, and maybe, if you fail, then maybe you can come at things from a different approach and try different solutions to problems. And I do appreciate that.
If in fact everything I've read about this game suggests that you do that, because what ends up happening is you end up unlocking different agents, and different agents behave and act and
very
do
different
things
skills.
Different.
There are some agents that have guns, and that's a pretty good strategy. Once you kill a guard, your timer goes up by 1, but he's not getting up, so it's helpful.
Right. He's not coming after you.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the things that kept on happening with me, and it's one of the reasons why I'm not really likely to keep playing it, is that, and we talked about this a little bit as well, the whole problem with Invisible Ink for me boils down to the end game. Is when you found what you're looking for, a lot of it ends up being run to the exit as fast as you can.
Yes.
And if you die, you're dead. It feels like it's a very claustrophobic game. And that's not a kind of thing that I'm really into when I'm playing a game.
I totally get that.
In this particular case, like, one of the things that happened was, in fact, I rescued the guy like I was talking about, and I realized I hadn't actually looked at the whole floor that I was on, because I knew where the exit was, but there was something that was not explored on the map. And it turned out that there was a safe opposite the set of rooms I was in. So what I was doing was, there's like a tiny little passageway, And my guys are like, opening the door, running across, closing both doors,
Yep.
getting to the other side, getting to the safe, coming back the other way to get to the original room that we were in, because it was a room with more doors and I could watch them more easily, and then sprinting to the exit.
Yep.
And it felt claustrophobic,
Yeah. Now imagine that with a timer going up.
Yeah.
too.
Oh no, I don't even want to do that. That's more trouble than it's worth.
No, I like this game for those moments. I like those in-game moments of stressing out and trying to really figure out when's the best time to move and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like usually in hallways like that, when you're crossing rooms, there's like a guard or two going through there, and you go,
Yes.
okay, so if I cross through on this turn, he can see these squares, so I need to wait a
Yes.
turn so that he can't see through this way, and
The
I can
other
go behind him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And like the dude I rescued, what happens with the dudes that you rescue is when you find them, they have nothing.
Yeah.
So
literally nothing, and you have to buy shit for them.
Yeah. So if you go to the trouble of rescuing this guy and he dies, then you're behind like 6 or 12 or 15 story hours.
Yeah.
And it's just like, no, don't do that.
Yeah, because the whole point of you going there was to get another
body. If you rescue a person,
body.
you're committed to keeping them alive.
Which is
And
why
clearing them
I
up.
like finding the person you're trying to rescue, and then finding the exit, and then going back actually rescuing him, and making sure the path is clear.
Yeah.
So you could just run him out first.
Yeah. I thought of my guy as Mr. Expendable, so he was the guy who went and opened the safe.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, I guess that makes sense, because if he dies, oh well.
One of the other things I think is great about this game is that unfortunately, what's going to happen is a lot of the story is going to end up sounding the same. But it's great to be able to sit around and talk about things that we've done, because everyone will do something a little bit differently in this game. And I think that's one of the good things about this is, honestly, if you and a buddy or a couple of buddies pick up this game, you're going to have such different stories to tell to each other.
Your playthroughs are going to be different.
It's the same reason why I love XCOM. The main story is pretty simple, but it's all the little stories you create for yourselves.
Right. And sometimes...
the thing about XCOM is that if you play, maybe the way I play, in the fact that you just don't let people die, if that happens, you start over. Is you start forming a relationship with those people, and I start building backstories for them in my head.
Yep.
And then, it's a cool way to go about it, right?
Right.
So that way, I don't know. To me, it adds a level of heaviness, I guess, to it when you actually do lose someone, and you have to make that choice.
Right. And that's the thing that I think that is great about this is, I mean, we could probably sit down and for 1 hour.
we could cover through all the stories about how the times I needed to find a key to from a guard and just couldn't kill any of the guards because they were all armored.
Right.
Yeah.
And the thing about that is it would make for a great conversation starter or a podcast or whatever. And so I think that from that perspective, if you're into stealth games at all, or you're into XCOM-like games at all, this is totally worth owning just for that aspect alone.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The stories
if you love turn-based strategy games, you need to play this one because it doesn't really play like a whole lot of other strategy games. If you like stealth action games, I still recommend trying this because this might be a good gateway for you to actually try out other strategy games.
Right, because like
true.
I said, there are a lot of training wheels.
Yes.
Yeah, it's lighter. It's definitely lighter. That XCOM is not Enemy Unknown or the newest one.
Yeah, this is way
XCOM
easier
2.
and way more forgiving.
Those games are hair-pulling frustration.
Yes.
And they're really good. But if you haven't played a game like that, those will turn you away real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because they'll piss you off. They'll piss you off just straight up. They'll make you so angry.
Yep.
This game can be very difficult, but as we've said many times here, there are tons and tons of customization options.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely check it out.
Even if you're not annoyed by the alarm timer, if you're like me and you went, man, I wish I could just retry whole levels. There's an option for that. If you think that guards don't stay down long enough after you knock them out because they only stay down for 3 turns, you can make it 5 turns, or you can go like well, that's stupid. They would get up after one turn. You can do that too. There's so many different ways to play this game, and I'm glad they did that because it is already a really niche product. I'm glad they were actually allowed people to make it a little less niche for themselves by doing that. So yeah,
I'd wholly recommend this.
Yeah, me too. And again, I don't know, maybe I was talking over Cody. If you're on the fence about it, wait for a sale. Just follow it and wait for a sale because
absolutely.
It's super worth playing. It's super worth checking out.
Cool. Well, thanks for playing Incognita, guys. I'm glad you liked it. I was wondering which way it would go, but I'm glad y'all dug it.
Yeah,
I did indeed.
All right, well.
And so now
the next game we've got up is Abzu.
Abzu.
Jason, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Yeah, Abzu. Guys, this is my pick. This pick is Abzu. You are a diver in the ocean. This is I think a really beautiful. Basically, it's just visual storytelling. There is no dialogue. And you're just swimming around in the ocean, getting from point A to point B, and the story plays out, and it's wonderful. There are mostly happy moments. There's a few sort of spooky things that happen, and I mean, it's so cool, man. It's so cool. It uses Unreal Engine 4, so it runs spectacularly well while looking awesome. Art assets are great. Music is fantastic.
The music is done by Austin Wintory.
Same guy who did the score for
Journey.
Which is a score that I own and listen to quite frequently because it is the best. So I look forward to that. I wonder if you can buy the score for Abzu because I'm probably just even before I play the game, I know I'm gonna want it. I won't listen to it yet. I'm gonna play the game and listen to it first that way, but.
Yeah, it's really cool. I had a great time with it. It's very short. I think we can make this 1 week. It only took me 3 hours to get through it.
Yeah, that's
good. Okay.
It's extraordinarily short. Please play this game, guys. It's spectacular. If it's not on sale, maybe don't grab it. Maybe watch a playthrough. But it is worth it, regardless. I actually don't know what it costs at the moment, but.
Well, it's normally $25, and that's what I got it for, and that's about the same price as Journey was. So.
Yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it because it's just amazing. And there's if you feel like checking it out again, there's like a New Game Plus, or you can also it's not New Game Plus, it's chapter selection, so you can go through and play wherever you want. Yeah, it's really awesome. Really just like the greatest visual storytelling. It's so cool.
If you go to Austin Wintory's Bandcamp, he actually has the whole album up there for $6. So
yeah,
it's also the soundtrack is up on Steam as well.
Oh,
for about the same price.
And probably GOG as well. I actually don't.
I don't know about GOG.
GOG doesn't have the soundtrack. What?
Well,
I have it.
I'm gonna look right now.
Let me have a look. I don't know if they even have Abzu.
I'm sure they do because it's not. No, they don't.
They don't have Abzu.
No,
it's not on GOG.
No, it's not.
Bummer.
Okay, never mind. On GOG.
Which is a shame.
So yeah, Jason will have the post about Abzu up there. I think I uploaded the image with the GameClub logo behind that for you. If you want to use that, I could do that again actually, real quick.
I might switch it up because it is a better. I just use the straight up GameClub image, but I like the one you put up there better. So I'll switch that up and just post it real quick.
Do it again
because it's already written. This actually, by the way, was a game when I first recommended it. I hadn't played it yet. and then we decided we were playing other stuff, and we were going through it, and I think it was during Origami, which I had actually stepped out of. I decided to go ahead and play through Abzu so I could write something about it with some meaning to go...
Yeah, so you had an idea of what we were doing. Yeah.
Yeah. It's totally worth it. So please, guys, play Abzu. I am going to post the Abzu introduction article to the website. That's twinstiq.com momentarily. So
very good,
sweet,
awesome. This is one I've been looking forward to and waiting for a while.
Yeah, me too. And it's part of my 4 in February, so I'm cheating.
If I actually decide to go ahead and say, I'm doing 4 in February, this will be included.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Awesome.
yeah, that's it.
Cool. Well, thanks for watching, guys. I think we're going to be doing a normal podcast in a little bit here, but we're going to take a quick break. And thank you all for watching Game Club. Join us for
Bye-bye.
Abzu next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.